Zoom recording. Thank you for coming this evening. We're going to talk about doing some web stuff and putting out your own website live on the internet. If you haven't already gone and downloaded Microsoft Visual Studio Code, please do so and install it. Same with Git. And also, if you do not have a GitHub account, please create one, because we're going to be using all of those this evening. So I'm going to post a link into the chat window here, and that's where we're going to start from. Can you give me a thumbs up or something to let me know that y'all have everything installed and are all ready to go? Everyone has everything installed or close to it?
I'm up.
Okay. Alexandra, you're all set. Dennis, Alexis, Roberto.
I'm good to go.
Okay. Oh, okay, Alexis. Okay, Dennis.
Hello?
Hello, Ali.
Is Leo here?
Yep, right here.
I'm sorry. Leo, you hear me?
Yep.
Unfortunately, I'm going to miss the first 40 minutes. Can you
Okay.
do me a favor and record it?
It is recording.
I would appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. I will join back in 40 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Ooh.
Never really used the Git on the desktop.
Oh, it's
So
not.
I'm a little
It's not going to be a
relieved
Git.
that.
It's not going to be on the desktop. It's just installing it onto your system.
Well, the console that popped up, I'm relieved that it's taking Linux commands.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so I cloned the repository. Is renaming it along the Linux process of renaming?
Yeah, it should be.
Okay.
Trying to do like 3 things at once. It doesn't work too well. All right, so in the meantime, if you do, you just come down and clone. It's all right here. The instructions are pretty straightforward, but this will be via your terminal window or your PowerShell, depending on what kind of system you're using. And the instructions are right down here. So the intent here is for you, when you download this file, is to rename it with your GitHub username .github.io. And what's going to happen is we're going to then use that repository name and then we'll use that repository name to actually host your information online. I think I'm sharing my desktop, or hopefully I am. So I need to actually do this because I have an older copy. Oh, hello. I'm Leo. I'm from Texas A&M San Antonio, CS major, rising senior. Kind of in the middle though, because I'm graduating next December. But just some of the things I've been working on. I built a iOS app over the summer for finding local parks in San Antonio. Built the whole back end on Firebase. Unfortunately, the city doesn't have an API, so we had to hand jam everything into the database to get everything to work correctly. But basically allows you to find the nearest park based on your current location, and then also gives you directions. And then what we had to hand jam into the database was all the information for the park amenities and the pictures and stuff like that, but it came out pretty well. Right now we're working on a couple websites for two nonprofits, one for animal shelter and one for a school club, both node backboned and using a combination of either EGS or React. That's about it. Sorry. Pseudo job interview at the same time.
I have a really dumb question.
Yes.
So I renamed the repository, which is fine, and then it says under setting. I don't know. Okay, so I was working in the terminal window. Am I still working in the terminal window or no?
No, you don't need to.
Okay. So where am I going?
So, on my Mac, it's under my profile. I assume it's going to be under your profile for Windows too. So under user and your name.
Okay. Oh, repositories?
Well, let me share everything. So it's actually in my my profile section. It's right here. So for me, this is just my username.
Is that local machine?
Yes, this is local machine. So
Okay, so that's local machine. So I got to figure out what path this went to.
like I said, it should be under just your user, under your profile. So your profile should be the parent, and the folder should be in that profile folder. Should be.
Yes, but I'm working in Windows. If it
Well, I
was in
know.
Linux, it'd be a lot easier.
Is are you on 10 not set up that way anymore?
So
I
if you're talking,
noticed some
are you
weird
talking
stuff.
about C users?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, there it is. Got it.
Okay. You want to share so everyone can see, since I'm not on a Windows machine?
I wish, man, but I don't have a microphone for the computer, so I'm having to dial in on my phone,
Oh, okay.
and then work on my machine while trying to see this tiny ass phone screen.
So can you turn on your camera and point it to the screen?
Oh wait, yeah. Hold on. Let's see here. Can you? Is it showing anything?
Yeah. If you might, can you get in a little closer?
Okay. I can't see. Let
Okay.
me see.
No,
Oh,
I'll
there we
see
go.
that.
Yeah,
You see where
there
he's
we
at?
go.
If you just double click on his image, his video, you should get a big one. So my username is lfbox7.github.io. All right. So remember where you're. I think hopefully everyone's got that. You can probably
Okay.
go back to where you're at. Hopefully everyone's got it. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Visual Studio Code, and we're going to go to File, and then we're going to open, and then we're going to hopefully be able to locate that file, that folder where we were just at. So that's users. And then once you find your folder, you're going to open, and you should have some stuff in your file tree.
Okay, which one did you open in that folder?
I opened up the folder you renamed. So File, Open. Well, it's one up. Put that right there. Clicked on the folder and then just clicked Open.
Okay, that still wants me to open something further from there because it just pulled open that file and then it didn't actually import anything into the into code.
Did you?
Hold up, let me check.
Okay.
Try
Workspace then.
Oh, let me
Workspace.
open folder and see if that works
Oh,
better.
okay. Yeah, instead of File.
Yeah. 10% rule. I consistently fail at that. Okay, and you're on index.
Yes, I opened the index file.
I am cooking with charcoal.
Okay. Is everyone close to this spot? Dennis, how you doing? Alexis, Robert, Alexandra? Hold on for my code. Alexandra's good. Dennis, you good? Okay. Mine is not Ray. Okay. So I'm going to post this on YouTube. I'll send you the link, Alexis. If not, just bug me tomorrow in class. All right. So what I want to do is let's go to the repository page, and let's. How many of you guys are familiar with HTML? Done anything with HTML before? Sorry, my big screen's to the right of me, so I'm constantly looking over there to check the chat and all your faces, even though there's no faces to be seen. All right, Alexis has. Dennis, I think you were in one exercise just a little bit, yeah. Robert, I think, did a little bit. Ray, I know where he's at. Jacob's coming back online, so, or he's doing 2 onlines. I guess so we can share. All right. So
I had to. It was just too small. I couldn't follow anything. So
oh, gotcha.
like,
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, I had. I've had HTML.
Okay. All right. So we're not. Maybe a couple of guys are a little bit defined. So everyone's familiar. HTML, we're dealing with tags. You have an opening tag and a closing tag. So it's much like Java, where you have an opening bracket and a closing bracket. And you can think of like the tags almost as like one small method or function, if it kind of makes sense that way to you. But just remember, always an opening, always a closing. And then the comments, which we'll see on the index page that I have right now, they're not the double slashes, they're not a slash and a asterisk. They are the angle bracket, a bang or an exclamation point, 2 dashes to open, and then 2 dashes in the angle bracket to close. Since we all have a rough understanding there, all right, you'll see that we have a couple of files here. We have the index file, and then we have the style file. So the style CSS is all of the it is all of the styling. So if you in programming 2, where I know you're at now, Dennis, and some of you guys have already gone through. If you're not familiar with CSS, you can link a CSS sheet to your Java FX. But we're linking this style sheet to our HTML to make it look different than just what it would look like now. If you try to run it now, let me see. I think we might be able to, well, I think we're probably going to get an error, but let's just see, because there's a lot of stuff missing. I'm just going to open this up in the browser. Yeah, and there's not any information to be printed out yet. But we're going to start. I have a pre-made stuff, so we're just going to build out the first page, which is basically a resume page. It's just a shell. All the CSS is already in there, and all of the class attributes for that CSS to hit are all set to pick up all the styling. So if you look in the components folder, we have a bunch of smaller HTML files. So what we're going to look at first is the head file. All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to take the information here. We're just going to copy it. I'm going to go back to our index file, and where it says insert the information, we're just going to go right over it, and we're just going to paste it in. And I'm just going to make it a little pretty looking. I'm going to replace this comment. I'm just going to call it inner box. So what this will do when we give our page a title, it's actually going to give the title is going to be what's going to be shown in the tab of the browser. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a file save all. I just typically do that because sometimes I have multiple ones open and you know, I just want to make sure everything saves. I'm just going to go back here. Let's open up this file again. And as you can see now on my you can see here on my tab, even though I don't have anything out there yet, my name is now in the tab. And that's because it's the title. All right, so from there, let's put our nav bar in, or actually, I take that back. Let's finish off the head tag. So the head tag is information that is read by the browser, but not read, or is not read by, it's read by the browser, but not displayed. So let's go to head links.html. And these are all the links to our various CSS files that we need. So let me come over here. I'm just going to paste this under title. All right. And so we're using not only our own style.css, which is our file down here, but we're also using, the Bootstrap background or framework. And that Bootstrap framework, we're linking to their main CSS, their minimized CSS file via the web. So they have a content distribution network set up. So these links are set up on all different servers all over the world. So it makes it easier to pull that information, makes your website faster, because that depending on where your information is on that server, it could be in, for example, in Utah, and you have a user in Maine. Well, that content, that CDN for Bootstrap or whatever we're going to use might also be residing there. So it's going to find all that backbone quicker that way than having to go all the way back to your server in Utah. So we also did that. I have a specialized family fonts that I got from Google, and this is their Google fonts. And then we're using Font Awesome, which is all those little cool icons, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So I'm just gonna save all here. We still don't have any content yet, so we're not going to see anything on our page. So if we went and refresh our page, oh, we have a little content. We have some bars and some what they are cards. And these cards are part of the Bootstrap framework. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go into the navbar file, which I didn't name HTML. So we're just going to go and we're going to copy that out. And we're going to set it right here in the navbar spot. Save all. And then refresh. And we should have a much better looking one there than we do. I'm wondering if we're hitting the style CS page. So I'm just gonna try to retype this out here. All right, it is there, so it sees it. All right, so I got all this information for the Bootstrap, and that the Bootstrap is the background here too. I'm just gonna, this is getbootstrap.com. I'm just gonna make sure that, oh, see, we get an update. That's what it is. 452, I'm on 441. I did not check that. I should check that before we started. I'm just going to paste that portion in. So in this portion, you'll find that there's also the integrity and the cross origin. That's for safety, well, for to ensure you don't get any injections. But since we're doing everything local right now, and your website's not going to end up looking like Facebook right now, it's probably not going to be too much of an issue. But if you want to have that all in there for that extra security, go ahead. It's not going to hurt, but it's not required. All right, so I'm going to save again. Refresh. Ooh. Oh, that's interesting. I have to do a little research why that's not happening. See how everything looks with the cards then. A little embarrassed. All right, so let's go to card one. This is going to be our first card, the first content we're going to drop in there. So I'm going to copy this in. I'm going to paste this into the spot for card one. And I'm going to save that. And what we should have is some type of information on them. Hopefully you're all seeing something similar. So in each of these, for example, for my line number 52, this header 2 class or header 2 tag, your name here, go ahead and you can change that to your name.
Okay. Hey, where in index did you put that under header? Sorry, I missed where.
It's the first, so it's around line 50 or so.
Oh, div class. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the?
There's a comment there
Okay.
that says paste that here.
Insert card one here. Okay, line 53. Okay, got it. Boom. Sorry, now I'm caught up.
And so you'll see like briefcase, home, envelope, phone. And as you look at it over here, I have the little briefcase, the little phone, the email, the home, the globe. Those are your font awesome. Those are your font awesome icons. So we're just going to kind of drive through this. We'll grab card number 2. It's a lot smaller. Put our whole piece together. So this is our education block. Of course, I put my major in there, but you're welcome to change it, of course. But I hope you all went to TAMUSA. So let's go to 3. And we'll get 4. All right, and then we're going to do one more. We'll grab the footer. And what we're going to do is, in between the footer tags, I did not put a tag here, so around 135. Put that in there. All right. And then we're going to take the last piece, which is scripts. And then we'll drop those down here. And those scripts are all of your JavaScript. So CSS styles, HTML depicts, and JavaScript makes things move, whether it be buttons or menus or what have you. So I'm just going to go save all and refresh. Get unmuted here. So I want to say it was maybe the first or second year that we picked up onto Nextdoor in our neighborhood, and we live in rural Texas. I mean, our neighborhood probably spans a good 15 to 20 square miles. So I think the lot sizes in our neighborhood go from 5 to 20 acres. So if you think of rural Texas and trees and grass, and that's kind of how our neighborhood is. I can see my neighbors in the fall, but I can't see them in the summer. But what Nextdoor did was all of a sudden it opened up, you know, all these new acquaintances and friends that we otherwise wouldn't have even known, because it's so expansive, and we've been able to have not only, you know, when something's wrong, you know, especially during COVID, having those elderly residents in the neighborhood going out and doing shopping for them, or we've seen at times having to go out and pick up groceries, or not groceries, but medication, or bringing people to the doctors. Mainly because we're about 30 miles outside San Antonio, but it's still difficult for a lot of people to get around, because we're relatively in a more poorer area. It's not, unfortunately, we're not totally glamorous down here. But it, you know, all those little things that you might get in, you know, an old time. I always, you know, think of like the old movies from like the 30s and 40s, and everyone knows everyone on the streets. and stuff like that. Well, that wasn't how it was 10 years ago. You know, now, hey, can someone help? You know, my lawnmower died, you know, or hey, I need a trailer to go pick up something. And all of a sudden, all of these new acquaintances just, hey, yeah, we got this, or, you know, items for sale, or, you know, hey, who's the best electrician that can service our area? Because again, we're out kind of in the middle of nowhere. So it's really helped us, you know, as a community grow in a way that we probably never would have. And I think that, you know, being able to spread this out, and you know, not only in the States but beyond, I think is just going to grow everyone closer. And you know, Facebook and all these other ones, they're all about, you know, this global reach. But even though Nextdoor is, you know, has that, you know, nationwide, almost global reach at this point, but it's focused on your little realm. And I think that, you know, it's that special niche that really is a big plus for especially our community. So that's, yeah. Yeah. So at worst, I want to just thank you all if I don't get another chance to. So, all right, thanks. All right, sorry guys, trying to get a job. All right, so we should have something close to this at this point. Everyone pretty much close to this. All right, so now if we go back to our index file in our Visual Studio Code, you will find all that in between these tags. So let's look at my line 60 here. So this is Java. And so that's going to be, that's tied up right to this right here. So what I have here is depicted right there on the web page. So as you go through here and we start to modify this page to suit your needs, right? That's what we're going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at these inner pieces, basically the stuff in white to some extent. And of course, we can also change the order of things. If you want to depict like work experience before your education, that's fine. So it's, you know, what this will do is allow us to be totally, you know, totally usable or totally customizable to exactly what you want it to look like. All right.
Leo, excuse me.
Yep.
Is this website on now?
It's not on yet. So if you open up, if you followed along, because I think you just probably got back on.
Yeah, sorry, I was late.
Okay.
I was wondering if I could like inspect it and see all the code in it.
Okay. Well, what I'll do is let me share the link again with you for where this is hanging out at. Oh. Oh, that's. All right, so that's the link where this resides on GitHub. And in the README file, here are the instructions to download it. And it should download into your profile window or your profile folder onto your machine. And then from there, you just rename it to this, to the .github.io folder. But right now, what we have is just a simple resume page that we're going to start modifying here in a second. But what we're going to do first is we're going to push this information up to GitHub. Hopefully everyone remembers their passwords. Dennis, looking at you. Issues. All right, so if you notice here, there's this icon here. If you hover over, it's called source control. And it has that one there at least, because we modified the index file. And if you click on it, you'll see the index file. It has that little M. That M for modified. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this up so that we can push it up to GitHub to be usable. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to click on the ellipsis here, and we're going to go and we're going to add a remote. And what we're going to do is just going to be HTTPS, or actually we can just do GitHub from GitHub. And so once we have if we don't have the repository name, then I believe we're going to have to create one first, but that's not a big thing.
Sorry, another quick question.
Yes.
The resume webpage we're gonna make, is it secured HTTPS or just HTTP?
Is it HTTPS is what you're asking?
Yeah, is it a secured one?
No, it will not be, because we're using GitHub to hang it. So it's a strictly HTTP.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Would you mind showing me how you got there again to the
Okay.
repository? I missed I missed where that was. I'm sorry.
Okay. So you're here, source control, and we're going to the ellipsis, 3 dots. I'm going to go to remote. I'm going to add a remote, and then we're going to click on add from GitHub. I'm already signed in, so this might not work correctly for you as I think about it. So let's just do add remote, and then we'll just put in the whole. So it's going to be HTTPS github.com, your username, and I'm just going to call mine repo1. But what I want you to call it is the name of the folder, because I already have I already have a file that's named that, and that actually has a website on it. And I don't want to lose that. But basically, so instead of my username, which is LFBox, put your username in those boxes. So I want to use origin. It's not going to take it, but origin because that's the naming convention that is used for a remote repository instead of master. And you may have to log in. I'm hoping that this works correctly. Let me know if you have issues and you have to log in.
I already logged in because, I mean, I was logged in through a browser, so it wasn't that
Okay.
hard.
Okay.
So what do I do? Logged in.
All right. So once you have, now what we're going to do is we're going to, under changes, under ellipsis, we're going to go to stage all changes. And then we're going to commit. And what we have, I'm just going to use initial commit as my message, but there has to be a message there. And then what you're going to do from there is we're going to go to,
Yeah, I'm actually stuck because I'm having that origin issue, same origin issue you were having.
origin doesn't, then just name it master.
Okay. Okay, it was what, sync?
It's changes, stage all
Oh.
changes. Mm.
Changes, stage all changes, got it.
And then from there, you'll go to commit and then commit. Trying to, oh,
Okay, I ran into an error because for some reason, even though I'm logged in, it wouldn't commit because it says I haven't set up my login credentials. I'm trying to find where I set that.
okay. Log in, forget. Oh man. I've had Git installed for like 4 years. So,
Well, within actual Visual Studio Code itself, like that's where the issue is.
can you show? Oh, okay.
So,
You can't share it even though you're on there.
well, I'm trying, yeah. So the VA is supposed to be sending me, like I asked for something and they decided to give me something different. But they decided to send me a laptop, and I'm kind of waiting on that to show
okay.
up, and hopefully that'll solve some of these issues.
I wish.
Oh wait, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Hold up.
That's what I mean. He's
I
logged
mean,
on. That's what I'm saying.
Ah, jeez. Oh. I can't share while you're sharing.
Oh. All right. Packed. Did it pop up? Where's the pop up that says you need to log in? So put in a message up there, like initial commit. Right here. Yeah, type in something. See where it says message? There has to be a message. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's. That's going to be, yeah, that's. Try extensions. Here it is. Okay. I think what it's going to end up being is that there's a Git file on your system that needs information.
All right, let me.
So you just have to do the global side. So those two commands. Oh, I'm not sharing. Sorry. So these two commands. Just run those in your bash, or you can actually even run it in the terminal window, because there's a terminal window in Visual Studio Code too. Okay. All right, Dennis.
Where did you? What page is that from? The configuration.
I just Googled it.
Oh. Oh, okay. All right, that makes sense.
So if you go in here and then terminal, it pops up as a bash or a ZSH right here. So then you can just, and even though it's in there, it's going global because it's global. So. Okay, could you? Okay.
What's the matter?
Did it work for you?
Yeah, I'm configuring now.
Okay. I get my full attention. Nextdoor, if you're familiar with Nextdoor, I'm getting early access for internship application for this next summer. I'm gonna close this out then. All right, we're gonna go back to Visual Studio Code. All right, so let's pull this up. I think I'm not sure. Okay, I didn't add the remote. The remote didn't go correctly to me. Okay. So I don't know if yours have. Mine did not add a remote because it should have been down in the bottom, and that's why I can't. We can't push. I can't push at the moment. So I'm just gonna go to my GitHub. And I'm gonna click on the green button right here for new repo. I'm just gonna go make sure you're naming it your username and then github.io. It's very important. Don't follow my direction right now. Do not add anything else. Make it public and then create repository. Not private, public. And your GitHub username.github.io. Yeah. So what I'm going to do now that that's built, I'm going to add a remote again. I'm going to go from GitHub. And repo 1, right? I have another one I'll put up here. New repo, okay. All right. Visual Studio Code has changed a little bit, but all right. So once you hook up there, all you're going to do is there's a little cloud, an arrow to the top here in Visual Studio Code that is right here. And you're going to click that button. I already clicked it, so my button changed. But I'm just going to refresh, if you will. And then if you go to the repo in Visual Studio Code that you push to, which should be your username.github.io, then what should happen is you should see this information there, hopefully. My fingers crossed that you see it. Let me know if you see it or you don't. So I'll just go to my little version here. So with your username in there, you should have some files that are now pushed up here. From here, we're going to click on the settings button. And we're going to scroll down. This should already be done, but we just want to ensure that the GitHub pages and settings says your site is published. And then it provides you a link. You just click on that link and it should take you to your website. And just put it as a resume.
I got most of the way there. It's just not pushing it to pushing it to GitHub. I'm trying to figure out why.
You want to show?
Yeah, I can do that. Okay, so I got in here and then
Okay.
go over here. These. Okay. Okay, got it. All right, that should work. Now, I went to the remote, add remote, and I came to the repository,
Okay.
typed that, and then the
Oh.
remote name. Oh,
right.
sorry.
Well, I want you to change your repository name because it won't be a website if you leave it as resume. Or you won't be
Okay.
able to pick the website.
Okay. All right.
That
So,
user, you can rename, go to settings.
there we go. Settings.
So it'll be meyerly.github.io.
Okay.
And then click rename. Now, if you go
Done.
back to settings,
Okay.
and then you scroll down to keep scrolling down to where it says GitHub pages.
Ah.
Okay, so there's nothing yet, but what will happen is GitHub pages only works when the repository is called your username github.io.
Okay.
And what this does is basically a free hosting service for static websites. Okay, so if we go back to our Visual Studio Code and just escape out of there.
Okay.
And then go back to add, there you go. So origin or master, it doesn't matter either one. I guess master it is. and then, yeah, commit if you haven't already committed.
No changes to commit. That doesn't
Okay,
make
that's fine.
sense.
That's fine.
Oh, okay.
And then down below, you scroll down the bottom of your, no, all the way down to the bottom of the screen, down to, yeah, down here, and hit that.
Oh. Why is it pushing to? Okay, so create a fork.
Don't have permission.
Something's not
No,
pointing it the
no,
right direction.
no. You just want to click no, because we're not. Would you like to go to? Oh, for an extension, no, you don't really need it. But what? Let's try. Yeah, just click on code and. Okay, it didn't get up there. Let's try again on the.
Oh, bloody hell.
Because you have two-factor. Oh, you security guys. I already know everyone's going to steal my shit anyways. Because I used to steal it.
Well, I trying to get into good habits.
Yeah, let's go back up to add a remote again. So let's go to remove.
Oh, whoop.
That's all right. You can just. So let's get all the bottom three. Go ahead and delete those. You can just click on them. Yeah, might as well. Then add.
Excited.
You can name it origin too. All right, there we go. Now there's a cloud. Perfect. We were just pushing to the wrong place. I didn't know what to do. All right, now if you go over your GitHub and refresh. Oh, look at that. Right. Let's go to settings. Just scroll up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then scroll down to the GitHub section or GitHub pages section. And then click on that link right above it in the blue. Oh, we're almost there. Look at that. You have an actual web page up.
Yeah, doing this a second time, I think it'd be a lot easier. It's just having to get everything set up to begin with.
So this is pretty, I mean, this is the basis of today's anyways. Next week, we're gonna really drill into the resume, but. Robert, were you able to get up onto one of the GitHub pages?
Yes.
Okay. How about you, Alexandra? Ray. Okay. All right. I mean, that's basically what we had to do today. I mean, we can start to continue on if you like, or we can end. Up to you guys. Because really, and then if you want during the week here till next Wednesday, you can start updating all your stuff to at least get all your data in there. Find yourself a headshot if you don't have one. And what we'll do is come Wednesday next week, we'll start moving this over to a different. Right now, this is our home page. What we'll do is we'll move it over to an additional page on our overall website. We'll link up our navigation, and we'll also make sure that we get all the styling right. I don't know why the styling isn't working correctly on this thing, at least on the menu. I'll go in and I'll play with it and see what happened, why it's not working correctly. Shouldn't be a big fix, but stuff changes, people update stuff, and they'll tell me, I don't understand why that happens. Someone updates some software, I should be the first to know. Or Robert should be the first to know, at least. So if you choose not to want to have your web page up the entire time, you can. There is a setting to flip it off. Let me go to that repository. Oh, I guess we can do. I didn't realize it is the secure side. Oh, check that out. Man, it used to be a little button here to unpublish it. Is it just going to tell me? All right. Well, I guess we're up and operational. No one's going to go to your page anyways because they probably they're not even going to know it exists because it's a GitHub and it's not going to show up on Google for quite some time. Guys, have any questions of what we covered tonight? Everyone's good. Everyone's up online. That was basically the big premise for today. If you want to learn more about HTML and CSS and all, I have it all on this. It's all in the README file from this repository, as well as the CSS. Let me do what I'll do is I'll talk a little bit about it. So there's a couple ways to do CSS inline. You can do it right in, I don't know if I have any inline on here. Oh, yes, I do. So this is an example of inline CSS. So it's just using the style property in the tag, and then goes into the margin left property and the attribute of or the value of two EMs, and that is estimated measurement. And I said it's very important that we have that that measurement to do, so it overrides any other margin lefts that may be interfering with this. However, because it's inline, this is going to override everything anyway. So really, this is that important statement really isn't important because it's really overriding everything that's there anyway. So it's not like going to not be written over, because in order of precedence, any style that's inline is going to come first. You also have the ability to put styling within the head tag. So that would just be the style, and then whatever your attribute is. So let's say H1. Say equals 3 eames. So eames and EM, that's essentially 16 pixels for each one. But the way the screens work, especially on the mobile side, because there's the pixels are smaller, the EAMS allows the estimation of what 16 pixels should look like on a normal screen, and then displays it as what 16 pixels would be if you have one EAM. So in this case, we're looking at, what is that, 42 or 48 EAMS, or 16 times 3, man, 54, something like that. My math stinks. And then the last in precedence would be the style sheet itself. So the style sheet has, in our case here, has all of the information that we want. Oh, look, it's even 3 EAMS here. So I'm just going to erase this because it's superfluous. So as you can see, the beginning of this style sheet, and this, so it's almost as if each one, this is an HTML tag. It does not, we know it's an HTML tag because there's not a period in front of it or a pound sign in front of it. If there was a period in front of it, it would constitute an HTML class attribute. If there was a pound sign in front of this class attribute here, card. I don't know if I have any, I don't think we have any IDs. If it was a pound sign or a hashtag in front of it, such as this, that would be for any ID attributes that we had given to a specific, or to a specific HTML tag. What the class attributes and the ID attributes let you do is, for example, if I just say that I want every H1 to be 3 EAMS, but maybe I want, on one page, I want it to be 2 EAMS, or I want it to be 5 EAMS. Some different. The class attribute, I can override just the H1, and it will then go up to 5 EAMS. And I'll just do that on a specific one. So for example, the class attributes here for this particular div, this division tag, is just card body. And card body is a class attribute from the Bootstrap CSS piece. So it's going to be located in the bootstrap.min.css file. So if you actually look at this, and we can open it up. This is what the min file looks like. And it has all the CSS, but it's all jumbled together. it's all jumbled together because it's supposedly faster and makes for faster page loads. So what I'm just going to do here is in my title, if I can, I already know that this is going to be the regular one. So this is the Bootstrap CSS. So if we go and we go card body, all right. So looking back here at our Visual Studio Code, we have card body, this particular division tag, this div tag. These are the CSS properties that are given to that card body. So it's a flex box, and we'll talk about Flexbox in later editions. But that just allows you to build out the CSS or Bootstrap 4 grid, basically allowing you to make your website orderly and not just have stuff all random. Back in the 90s, before this concept was invented, a lot of websites were just built out of tables. So you would create a big table and then, you know, kind of stick your stuff in where you wanted to look at, where you wanted it to display on the screen. So you might have done that in Word or in PowerPoint or something like that. Well, that's how the first real styled websites back in the late 90s and early aughts were built based on that grid pattern so that they could get stuff lined up so everything was like in a linear fashion. So you can kind of explore this file here. You can also explore here. I have created a bunch of custom classes, which are basically based on our school colors. So if you're not familiar with this, there's a whole page on our website about the TAMUSA colors. Let me go. Why are you not typing? So you'll see that from the school's website, we have a specific black. It's a rich Pantone rich black, which is typical black is your hex code is 0000000. So this is just the little 3. So it's adding a little bit more unblackness to it. This is aluminum. If you actually go and look at what Pantone 877 C is, it's actually aluminum is the actual color. White is straight on Fs. So when you're doing when we're using the hexes in our CSS, we can do it one or two ways. We can either do it as the 6 digits, or we can do it as 3 digits. It gets kind of rough when you're doing 3 digits and you have 6 distinct characters, because you're not going to end up with aluminum. If you just go 848, you're going to end up something close to, but you won't get to the color that you're ultimately looking for. But if you just do 3 Fs instead of 6 Fs, you're still going to end up with the same white. If you do 3 zeros, or in this case, if you do 030, you're still going to end up with the same rich black, because they're only, in the case of the black, there's only 3 digits that you need. The rest are all zeros, so you can throw them out to begin with. And since the white is all Fs, what the browser does is it's just going to look for and put the 3Fs on the backside, so it'll already correct that. And then I can't remember what exactly this color is, but they've renamed it Medla Maroon for the that Texas state senator who got the bill passed for Texas A&M San Antonio. And so you can use these. So you can use either the hex codes in CSS, or you use the RBGA codes. Any of these codes you can actually use, but it's just easier to use the hex codes because there's less numbers to remember. And the RGB is, 3 distinct numbers. Sometimes it's easier to use it that way, and sometimes it's not. But it just, boom. Yeah, MySpace. I think MySpace might have been an earlier Flex box, but I can't remember. Was it like 2004, 2005 that came out? I don't think I had a MySpace account though. So all of these colors that
2004, 2005 for sure
Okay.
is when MySpace was, and then the migration to Facebook kind of happened in 2007, 2008-ish.
Okay. Yeah, I think I opened a Facebook account in like 2010. And by 2012, I don't think I ever used it again. I remember so that was, well, no, I take that back. I think I posted the last thing no, I didn't use it again until, I used it once in 2014, or maybe early 15 when I went back in country and it was in Bagram, at Bagram Air Force Base, and I took a picture and posted it. I think that's the last post I've ever made.
Wait, you were at Bagram in 14?
What's that?
You were at Bagram in 14?
And I think I got there in January. Yeah, I got there in January.
I was there 12 to 13.
What's that?
I was there 12 to 13. Oh, wait, might help if I put my mic down closer to my mouth. I was there 12 to 13.
Well, I was down in Kandahar.
Oh, I was actually on Bagram at Salabu Harrison.
Okay. Yeah, I was actually in Kandahar City at a little flap called Camp Nathan Smith.
Yeah, I enjoyed not having the mortars actually land on me. That was nice because they didn't want it. The detention facility was there, so they would shoot over the detention facility, but they always made sure not to hit it.
Well, we were a very small fob, right in the middle of, or surrounded by neighborhoods. So
Yes.
we never got indirect fire because if they missed us, they would hit residential housing, and that's the last thing they wanted to do was blow up their own guys.
Hearts and minds.
Yeah. So all of these colors I've put into whatever colors here. So the Madla is the Madla Maroon. The Koa Maru is the kind of purplish that's in our in there, and then the secondary and third colors, the light blue, the Gothic, and then so when you go back to index and you look at anything like here, text Madla, if you go back and look here in styles, you'll find text Madla. So it just means the color of the text is going to be the Madla Maroon. And if you look on the website, which one is this? Oh, those are the briefcase. So the briefcase is maroon. I was like, I don't remember any text being maroon. All right. I keep rambling on, but I'll ramble on later because then we can actually put it to better use. A little overview of CSS. So just take the opportunity over the week to kind of fill in your information, whatever languages you might know or tools, whatever you want to depict down here. That's up to you. You can always modify it to depict something other than coding stuff, since you guys are not CS majors. So what I'll do is, all right, there's two links for you. You get Bootstrap. If you're not familiar with Bootstrap, it's a Twitter design. So Jack's guys came up with this to help make sure that Twitter looked nice. And then the other one is Font Awesome. And so, like, for example, we're looking at the globe on my page there. There are anything that's in black is free. So you can go and you can change the globe, for example, here. Here I have Globe North America. So in the code, it's just FA Globe. Why is it just FA Globe? I thought they were supposed to be. Interesting. It should be Globe Americas to depict what I'm showing. The globe should look like that. I call shenanigans on them. But if you're looking for like here, so you got servers here, you got networks, database things, and mice, and Windows, SIM cards, printers, and load more icons. What else we got? Helicopters, because those are part of computers, right? And trains. Weird. So maybe you want to have some about network or whatever it is that you want to kind of depict on your page. But there's, I mean, I think it's just lack of imagination to find an icon these days. At least ones that you would even have to pay for. So, cowboy hats, mittens. You want to build a chess game? Apparently, you can only you can only make a white blackboard with the icons. They're not going to give you the white ones. That's funny. But you can always change the colors, like I did there. So you could just overlay it with the white. So you could get crazy and you could build yourself a little chess game. Although there's too much AI behind there to make it a single player. Tic-tac-toe is easier. So, all right, I'll let you guys go. Thanks for coming tonight. In your email, you should receive a survey. If you fill it out, that's cool. If not, that's cool too. But since this semester I've been seeing the same faces over and over and over again. This is our last workshop for this week. since we have technically a 4-day weekend. I'm still too much military to not have a 4-day weekend, right? And then, so when we come back on Tuesday and then Wednesday, we'll pick up and we'll move this to an actual resume page. We'll do all the navigation stuff, and we'll also do some basic styling on the homepage to get it going. And then Friday on the 11th, we're doing the resume and LinkedIn workshop in conjunction with the May Center. So please tell all your friends, all your classmates that if they need to get their resume together, here's a chance to do it. Plus, they're going to be doing you can set up your appointments to talk to them during that time too. So I think you can even do in-person ones. So, all right. Any questions? Thank you for coming. You guys are so quiet.
Hey, thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Alexandra.
Catch you all later.
All right. Catch you later, Robert.